Hi and hello to everybody, I am still alive. And I wanted to make a tiny little video about video cards, right? Video cards, PC, consumer parts, in this case video cards. Now, I've been here for a while. When I mean for a while, I mean I've been here since the Titans fell back in the day. That was back in the day in the 2000. That's when the Titans fell. I think 2000, 2001 to 99. Those are the years. Talking about very old video cards that back in the day they were $900 per piece, and they were like the stuff that no one could ever have. They even gathered dust on the boxes, on the shelves in the store. So that was pretty well. Anyway, back in those days, I think they were actually made in USA. The video cards they were actually made in the US. It said on them, but for here, uh, where we were in the living wage was about $100 or less, the standard salary of all the normal people. Not talking about the corrupt and rich, corrupt people. I'm talking about the normal people who practically would have had time to use and like this kind of technology back then. Some of them, at least. It was un, un, uh, accessible for them. Of course, there was there was any kind of credit line. There was no credit cards. There was no credit. Not for the normal people, of course. Only for the corrupt officials and whoever they are. I'm sure they will have a warm place one day. Um, but besides that, the prices were high, and no one kind of bought them. Some of the people bought them, but they were so rare. Uh, what is that? That's like one one of 1,000. One out of 8,000 persons might have bought one. Anyway, I never got to see one. By the way, I saw maybe where did I saw it with my own eyes? Oh, I saw it when it was too late back in 2006 when they already have the other good cards and they were like left behind on the shelf for particular reasons. They were testing to compare with the old Titans, the new ones. Yeah. And I wanted to make this video because I hope that never happens again. That only happened because the pixel shader. That was the only implementation that it was different than the normal cards who didn't have the pixel shader. And they fell because pixel shader 2 was created. Duh, everybody would want to more colors and more effects on their cards than the last ones. But back then, the difference in generation of cars were like one generation. That is one series, 10 years, something like that. You know? Anyway, I might have wanted to react on that because it's something important. And stuff, stuff started in a regular form. Like people start buying stuff. Start buying computers. It was $1,000, but somebody did buy it. Some of us, at least. Something happened, and it started, and it, it, it still is fine, okay. But back in the day, that's why they fell because they took out and they made the new pixel shader model, which was more efficient, more better looking, cool effects that the stuff before didn't have at all. No matter what the version, it was professional, uh, uh, video editing or whatever they did it. I'm talking about GeForce 3 Titanium, GeForce 4 Titanium, GeForce 4 Titanium 4800 or GeForce 4 Titanium 4200. I'm talking about that Titanfall Pixel Shader 1, and those eventually fallen. Uh, they have fallen totally in 2005, I think. Yes, in 2005 and 2003, Pixel Shader 2 was out, was efficient, was accessible in a couple of limits. It was about 300 $300 for a card, an FX 5200 back then, Ultra probably. Yeah, it was about $200, and that is about not not too far. I mean, 2003 and 2005. It's not so far for me. Anyway, hopefully that will not happen again. That's why I wanted to make this video, because that was like the depression. It was horrible. Even I didn't got to buy one, uh, but I wanted it. But of course, when I had, I found funds to buy something. It was about $130 back then. Yeah, something like that. $145 in 2003. It was a lot of money back then. And to put all that money into something that you do not know, you do not want. Of course, I wanted something new. So I didn't have any choice except to accept the GeForce 4 440 8X AGP, which had 128 megs of DDR memory, which was okay. It was not an fix. The fix was all out already, and Radeon 9000 were also all out on the market with the Pixel Shader 2, but I did not have any money for them because they were $300, $400. So I had to settle for something that I can actually use, which had a sufficient amount of graphics power, at least. Didn't have the shaders, but had the power. So you have something, you can turn them off, on. Of course, you couldn't play the high title with all needed pixel shaders, so those were out of the question. But some of them made the beautiful compromise of working with both systems, like Need for Speed Underground, which I'm sure me and millions other still declare it the most beautiful video game that ever was in the childhood. And Underground too, but not as fun as one. Anyway, hopefully that will not happen. Hopefully people will settle for one pixel shader and one system of computing. But right now with the RTX move, I don't know. So if you want to make something that works for both sides, you should make it compatible with also with the cars who don't have RTX and don't have physics. Unfortunately, license is license, so boo hoo hoo. Somebody told me about CUDA, but cores are cores. Software must be efficient also for those cores. So hopefully that will not happen. I wanted to make this video because I have here a couple of cars that I bought. I bought this back in 2016. It's an old car, but it does the job. It's a beautiful car. It's a Nvidia GeForce GTX double GPU 590, and I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna keep it for all time because it was supposed to be special edition, triple DVI, triple monitor. It has it perks. It still works. It's still okay, and it's still worth the money even today. For comparisons, the performance of this, you can get it with one of these. That is the performance. That is dual GPU. This is single GPU, more efficient, but in a new form. I wanted to say I can beat this, but only in some kind of test. So I'll just shut up and say it is similar performance. But the difference is the number. You see, it's 5 generations, five generations in 4 years, or 5 or 4 years. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I'll pass that. And I have here, I'll take this down. I have here a comparison, something new, something that I just bought from the eternal rival, the challenger, you can say it, of and rival of AMD, and the only one. Uh, this is the R7 370. I have one of these in a box. This is Nitro. It says it's a bot. They say from Sapphire, a bot card from Sapphire, uh, which of course has a Decepticon. It's a Decepticon-like logo on it, but um, to me, since I'm still on the budget, all the way from then to now, nothing really has changed economically. It could be worse, but I guess not. Um, and I like my Nvidia, and I like my GPUs, and I like Gigabyte, and I like Nvidia very much because they have made the effort of inventing Pixel Shader 3, which it was the most amazing thing that they could do at the time. Um, this is more efficient than this one. This one uh, doesn't have physics, but it has DirectX 12 capabilities, and it's more efficient, and it has 4 gigs of RAM directly on it, and a 256 bus lane, which is respectable. And what is better than the other one is that it consumes much less power. And much less power, I mean, this one consumes 360 watts. It's ridiculous, but it works. This one consumes 110, and that's why I wanted to make also this video, besides the first fact with the fall of the Titans. That when I'll find somebody to talk about that, it will be a fun day. But anyway, this is more efficient. It's not as refined probably as that the big one, but it's more efficient. And guess what? It's cheaper. So it's more efficient. It's cheaper. It consumes less power. That means it's good. Um, I tested it and it made the score better than this one, which it surprised me because it shouldn't. But this is not a medium range card. This is a high end card. That's what I can say. For stuff that is full HD, of course. And I bought 2 of them because I still want to do a crossfire. Since I didn't have the time to be able to make. Also, I want to do a salari test with these kind of cars, but I didn't got to do that. So I bought 2 of these to make a crossfire test when I'll get to that in time. Uh, but I'm sure if they continue with this kind of stuff, because I also have another card from Radeon, a 200 and R7 260X from the other last generation, because they have generations with hundreds now. It was a respectable card, a very respectable card. For the money that I put on it, it was a respectable card. Didn't have physics though. So I bought 2 of these to make a test out of my own work money, which find it and test it also to see how it works. Because this is all for commercial use. This is nothing new. But the ones who make progress I respect. And I respect more the ones who make progress in a respectable prices. because shit costs money. And these are not potatoes. These are not t-shirts. Okay, these are not uh, phones. You can say that. These are high precision machines. Yeah, so they're made in China. They're not made in the USA. Of course, if they make it this one in USA and they want for it instead of $100, they want oh 6,000. I ain't gonna pay that. I mean, it's not gonna happen. You know, or $2,000. It's not gonna happen. If it wasn't any crisis and the money was fair, I would definitely don't didn't make this video probably. I didn't start to make this video, but since at least back here where I am, stuff is not 1,400 euros per month, the salary I mean, I will always comment and do something until the problem would get fixed. I suppose I don't know. If not, I'll move myself. But since nothing really appealing to me except a few, and there are problems everywhere, it's probably not gonna happen right now. But anyway, it's also made in China anyway. I wanted to say that it's all made in China. This one is also made in China. Even if it is an Nvidia, it is made in China, Canada Class B. Well, where is it? Right here. Made in China. Wanted to say that because they they do good stuff. I mean, don't want to brag on them, but if they want to, they can do it. And this one came with this box, which is amazing. It was the Crisis Edition, of course. And the guy who sold it to me, he sold it with the box. Thank God. The guy was a happy gamer. Didn't play serious games. He played LOL or stuff like that. So he didn't need this one anymore. He already had a couple of. I mean, he had for 5 or 6 cards from the 5000 generation from AMD and the 400 generation from Nvidia. So he had a lot of them, and he was cleaning up his room. I mean, he was taking them out. And I got to buy this because I was impressed. And I always wanted a legendary video card, of course, like the Titans, you know. I always wanted a Titan. I never got to have one. Maybe one day I'll buy one, even a second-hand one, old one, maybe. Um, the very old ones. As for the new ones, they are so expensive. It's not even possible to think about it. It's scary. But maybe some of the old ones, you know, a Titan, a titanium. It was called also whatever the TI versions right now. Also totally okay. So that's why I'm making videos about this kind of stuff. Because I remember the day when it was all sad and lonely and without hope and without any shaders. It was only DirectX 8.1 and 9, but without shaders, and it was Windows 98. Think about that, and you get depressed by the idea. But anyway, I was happy to not have that and to evolve very fast to Windows XP. Thank God. It was nice. Definitely my kind of stuff. So with this free promo, uh, I hope somebody understands what I'm saying, and hope for the best, of course, for the both sides, because none of them pay me. I do this because back in the day, that's why. 1997, 1996, the LAN parties or the the computer internet cafes, because we didn't have computers. My first computer was in 2003, by the way. Yeah, for all the good times instead of bad, like stuff like that. You can do, we can do better. So they proved that. but one generation at a time, please, because you're wasting money and power. And also highly precision graphics cards in this case. It's a different story about something else.